going on, Jerome's? So some things happened today, and Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell, hat model, is back. Fed the local media jackals talking about the signing of Daniel Jones, the Arizona Cardinals coming up ahead. So also Daniel Jones, also hat model. So he said some things and some stuff, so let's dive on in. First off, Daniel Jones, great addition to the quarterback room. Now, he didn't specifically say the line that he used when talking about Sam Darnold during the offseason, where it's organizations fail young quarterbacks far more often than young quarterbacks fail organizations. Paraphrasing there. But I do think that the similarities between Jones and Darnold situations are certainly there. Highly drafted and having all the tools, and just didn't pan out with their original team. Now, of course, Jones did get paid. And Darnold not so much, but Jones arriving to the quarterback room, I think that it is really smart for the Vikings to just add additional depth as well as contingency plans, not for just this year, but also potentially for next year as well. Jones, he said that they're still working through some contract stuff, probably crossing the T's and dotting the lowercase J's, but also the mechanics of having him on the practice squad, but giving him a decent contract as well. DJ is going to arrive Friday morning. Kevin O'Connell, so he was very specific and adamant. It was like, we spoke to him Monday after he cleared waivers. He never wants to come across a tampering charge. So he was very adamant there. Kevin O'Connell, I feel like he was coached up by the legal team. I don't know. But also he talked about how back in 2019, when they were evaluating Daniel Jones, he did spend a 30 visit with Jones, spent all day up at the board, talking football, talking stuff like that. And you'll notice that too. Like, when Kevin O'Connell, says, great things to Anthony Richardson or Caleb Williams post game, like, that's not just bluster, man. That's paying it forward. That's showing respect. And also, you never know when you're building these relationships, like if they could come to pass later on, right? So, I mean, what if Caleb Williams doesn't work out with the Bears? What if Anthony Richardson doesn't work out with the Colts? All of a sudden, the Vikings looking for a new backup quarterback, and it's like, hey, I'm going to go there with the quarterback whisperer. All right. And also, you talked about building relationship, maximizing potential, not just quarterbacks, but every single player on the team, and doing that same thing with Jones. Hopefully Jones enjoys the locker room and the culture, getting to know his new teammates and stuff. And he did shout out quarterbacks coach Josh McCown and assistant Grant Nudinsky, really going to do a really good job of getting everyone up to speed. Nudinsky was really instrumental in terms of the passion out last year. And Jones, like, he's certainly not a neophyte, but learning a new system, learning a new scheme on the fly, I mean, that will take some time. But he does have 70 career starts, and he's played a lot of football. And O'Connell did say all experience matters. Plus, he did make a joke about how Jones beat the Vikings back in the playoffs back in the day. But there is no pressure on anyone, Jones, Darnold, any other quarterbacks. And this is what really stood out to me. So this is leadership here. A lot of teams whenever a team makes a transaction, and sometimes players say, like, yeah, I found out about it on Twitter or found out about it watching ESPN, right? But that's BS, right? You don't treat your people like that. And O'Connell said that he talked individually to all four quarterbacks before news of the Jones signing broke, just reassuring them what their role is going to be. He also mentioned that they are going to keep all the quarterbacks. McCarthy obviously on IR, but hopefully they keep Darnold. But Mullins and Brett Rippon on the 53, and now Jones on the practice squad for the time being. I did say that they are going to keep all of them. And also just talking with the quarterback, that just shows respect. Talking about how this doesn't change things, or talk about how it will change things. I think that you don't have to treat people with kid gloves, but just giving them that acknowledgement and showing them that respect, I think it's important, right? And then Jones, Jones picking the Vikings versus all the other teams that are in on him, I think it just validates the Vikings culture. That's what O'Connell said. And also, I mean, the Vikings are set to be players of free agency next year, and I think that will expand because not only do they have world-class facilities and the whole NFLPA survey thing, that's great, but you see that it's infectious. The culture here, and players want to play for Kevin O'Connell, especially quarterbacks. We'll take that, man. Some non-quarterback news. Ivan Pace Jr., hamstring. Say hope to have him back soon, and he mentioned hopefully it's along that 4-week IR timeline, so that would bring him back for Week 17 for the Packers. But we'll see. Every hamstring is different, but it does sound a lot rosier than, say, the Jefferson hamstring injury last year. All right, and also shouted out new signee linebacker Jamin Davis, where Davis, former first-round pick by the Commies, spent some time with the Packers. It's interesting because obviously Kamaguruje Hill is filled in nicely for Pace, but I think specifically shouting out Davis, I mean, maybe Davis sees the field a little bit sooner than we think. But missing out on Pace, you mentioned that it's tough overcoming the loss of the toughness as well as physicality that Pace brings to the table every single day. But this is still a tough and physical defense, and the Vikings will certainly get after things in that regard. But, of course, the main topic was Daniel Jones. I still think that this was a fantastic no-risk spot for the Vikings. And, if Darnold leaves, next year, could Daniel Jones be, the next Sam Darnold in the hopper? He and McCarthy, maybe they compete in training camp with, McCarthy having like a 65-35 edge going on in. And at minimum, Jones is a solid backup. At maximum, he becomes another Sam Darnold. Don't know, but we need to thank our lucky stars that we're living here today, where our coach is a quarterback guru, and he can't take that away. Right, man. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Reaction to Kevin O'Connell's presser on Wednesday after the Daniel Jones signing. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section. You know what to do. Skull, production value.